right, guys. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers of SAT math prep and the dangers of choosing the wrong one. Most importantly, we want to figure out, we want to go over a couple of things, right? First of all, not all SAT math programs, not all SAT programs are created equal. Okay, so when it comes to SAT math prep, many parents are like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna pay anybody who picked up a SAT math book in their life, right? They think that they could just throw their kid in whatever prep course, and then that's gonna be enough for them to get a 700 on the SAT math section. Well, guys, there's nothing more that's farther from the truth. Okay, whether it's a budget-friendly option or a well-known brand like the Princeton Review, these are not always the best path, and here's what you need to know about that. Okay, the first thing that we're going to be talking about, right, is that, hey guys, cheap SAT prep, you get what you pay for. Okay, so I know it's very tempting to save money with free or even low cost SAT prep solutions, right? But guys, they're cheap for a reason. Okay, these options, they often provide a very one size fits all approach with very outdated material, right? It's like if they're not making a lot of money, then hey guys, it's like if you're not paying them a lot of money, they're not going to have the best materials. They're not going to have the best things that your team needs for success. And most importantly, you're not going to get the right amount of attention that you guys need for them to be successful, right? Because of this, right, it doesn't really address specific student needs. What this leads to is that, hey, you're not going to improve very much, and you're just going to waste time because let's be real about it, right? It's like, how truly committed can someone be to your team if you're only paying them 20, 10, $15 an hour, right? Most of these tutors, they don't even know what they're doing, right? So that's why they try to compensate it, with lower prices so that they're able to attract more customers, right? But it's a double-edged sword because they're not charging a lot. They're not making enough revenue, because if they're not making enough revenue, right, then they're not going to be able to support your team because, number one, they don't have the resources to, and most importantly, they just don't care. So that's the reason why I would stay away from those really, really cheap SAT math prep places, okay? Now, on the contrary, okay, big brands, they don't always mean that they're better, okay? So big brands, they like to promise these very, very big score improvements, right? It's like, oh, we guarantee that we're going to raise your score 200 plus points. What kind of load? It's like, okay, well, what if I started at a 700? You can guarantee me an 800? No, that's not how it works. Okay, and these guys have a lot of revenue from the books that they have and things like that, right? So it's able to funnel into marketing for these programs that you're going to cough up 3-4 grand for. Okay, now the problem with that is that these classes, because they have so much room for marketing, right? It's like they have very, very large classes to prep, in order to fit all these students into one place, right? So large classes, standardized instruction, right? What that happens is that when you have a class size of larger than 6 to 7 kids, you're not going to have the personalized attention that you need in order for you to be successful. Okay, that's the biggest thing with that. Now, and also, right, when you're working with that many students, there's no way you're going to have any amount of personalization with those teachers that you're going to be with. Okay, now these options, they follow a very rigid schedule, right? They also, that means it has no flexibility for students who are either falling behind or light years ahead, right? So it's like if they're like a little bit ahead of the curriculum or they're a little bit behind the curriculum, right? It's like there's no support outside of these group classes. You can't contact your tutors. You can't have private support access to them, right? So you're kind of out of luck, right? You're gonna be pretty either really, really bored, not engaged, right? Because you're in big class, or maybe you're not, you're going faster, or you're just going to be way, way behind. Okay, so we want to make sure that you don't have that. Okay, so despite their larger cost, right, for the name, these courses, they don't cater effectively to your teen's unique learning style. It doesn't pinpoint your exact weaknesses, right? Since these places, they maximize their profits by having groups as big as possible. Okay, so what should you do? You should probably invest in a tutoring program that is going to have that personalized attention to your student while also balancing them in a winning environment. The problem with a lot of parents is that they all either want to go one or the other. They want to either do group or they want to either do one-on-one, right? The problem with that, right, if you only do one-on-one, right, it's like you're not going to be in a winning environment with people with the same mindset as you, with the same goals as you, and the same problems as you, right? It's like, it's very hard. Isolation is very, very hard. It's hard to succeed, right? It's like, imagine if like an Olympic athlete, right, try to train on his own without his coach, without his team, right? It's nearly impossible for them to win gold. On the contrary, if you only do group tutoring, right, you're going to have the same issues, right? You're not going to be able to, get that personalized, unique flavor that you're looking for. Okay, so you're not going to be able to get like all of these. You're not going to get all the personalized feedback that you need to like reinforce your weak points. You're also not going to have the enough, strategy in order for you to accelerate your growth. Okay, so let's talk about why the Math Guru method can definitely help you stand out. Okay, so the first thing that you do here, the Math Guru method, is you discover and enhance. So unlike generic courses, our method begins with a detailed diagnostic to uncover each student's unique challenges and their unique strengths. Okay, so this tailored approach ensures that, hey, we focus exactly where your team needs the most help. Where exactly do they need the most amount of support? Okay, because that means that outside of class, they can work on specifically those areas so that they're able to, get farther along in their journey, and they're not handicapped by, where the group is at the moment, right? They can do work on their own, right? And which is most important anyway, right? It's like, because the group isn't going to be there for you when you're going to be taking your exam, right? You got to study on your own at a certain point, okay? Second thing is you want to apply and you practice. So we use real SAT math problems and personalized feedback to reinforce learning directly applicable to your team's requirements. So this targeted practice ensures efficient use of study time and genuine score improvement. So a lot of these big name test prep centers, right, what they do is that they give you a very generic, very one size fit all cookie cutter diagnostic, right? They say, oh, you need to work on this, but they don't exactly tell you what you need to work on in those specific areas. And they just give you a packet to practice, but they don't tell you which parts of the packet to practice or what parts you need to work on the most. Okay, and that's the biggest issue with these big names. And these cheaper options, they just don't even do that. They don't do any of this in general, right? They don't even offer, right, the resources that you need, right? Last thing you want to do is you want to simulate success. So more than just learning strategies, right? We need to simulate the SAT environment to boost your confidence and reduce your testing anxiety. So this preparation is critical for success. So that's far beyond what most large-scale prep courses offer, right? They don't simulate the exam. They don't, prepare you for the mental aspect of the exam, and forget about the cheap guys. The cheap guys aren't going to do any of that as well, right? Most of these guys are either students that are trying to get a little more extra cash, right? Or they just don't know what they're doing. They're newbies, okay? So the important thing here, guys, is to choose smart. Don't just choose big, okay? So the right SAT math prep course can make a tremendous difference in your teen's college prospects, okay? It's more than just learning the math, right? It's about, hey, master the strategies that lead you to success, okay? So if you're ready for a program that truly understands and addresses your teen's needs, to avoid any pitfalls of mass market courses, all you guys need to do is DM me now to learn how the Math Guru method can provide a personalized path to higher SAT math scores and college success. Okay, let's make your teen's potential a reality, right? Make sure we're not just going to a one size fit all course that's gonna hinder your child's growth. Okay, thanks a lot for your guys' time, and I hope to see you guys in my next live stream. All right, thanks a lot.